Money I'm stacking, why they rock diamonds? I can't relate to them, ain't my chick calming. I set a goal for me 2 or 3 commas. 7 figures, 8 figures to 9 figures. On a slow pace to get rich quick. Same time we just think different. Cause when you make it hit different.
Been several years since I last worked a 9 to 5. Multiple streams and I ain't talking about no Spotify or Apple Music. And for Daryl killed it on the hook, it's only right you know I had to use it. Super smart but I be acting stupid. It's a big difference between talking and when you actually prove it. Entrepreneur life, who said it's all fun and games? Clever with words, had to realize it's a numbers game. Make the money multiply, divide it, then you add it up. I don't need the carrots, I just rather get my cabbage up. If they always lowercase, that mean that it's never capped. Once you get your credit right, just know that you can leverage that. And you can never find my stash cause it's in the vault. They don't never see the grind, they see the end result. Like Kirk, I'm getting Franklin's, need a resolution. We ain't using no excuses, strictly execution.
While they party, I'm in here grinding. Money I'm stacking, why they rock diamonds? I can't relate to them, ain't my chick calming. I set a goal for me 2 or 3 commas.
Well, welcome. Hey, welcome. This is your guy Ray, coming to you live all the way from here. We're here with Silk Financial Network, one of the leading fintech companies in the nation, under brought our great franchise from our parent company, Nove, which is an Inc. 5000 company. 2,137 out of 8 million, I think it is, something like that. We get a couple of waves over here. Let me get these waves in. Get these waves in. Well, so look, need you guys to go over to our YouTube page if you're not already on it. Subscribe, notification, put the like button. Definitely trying to get over there to our YouTube side. If you're over here at Facebook, just hit the like, share, notification, IG, like, share. And we're going to get right with this thing that we've been talking about lately. This is part 3 of our series, right? Part 3 of positioning for financial abundance. How to make money in your business. Part 1 was talking about choosing the right revenue model for sustainability. Then we talked about creating a foundational program or service. So today we're going to be talking about creating profitable and purposeful pricing. Creating profitable and purposeful pricing. Okay, stay with me today. So when we talk about pricing, is probably one of the big. Now let me back up, because if you are a kingdom-driven entrepreneur, this is definitely for you. This is all for all entrepreneurs, but I like to focus on our kingdom-driven entrepreneurs. That's just what we do, using kingdom principles, kingdom economics to build our businesses the right way. Of course, you know, Silk Financial, our fintech company, and then we also talk about, come on, Silk Financial, of course, our fintech company, and then we got our Exodus House Business Incubation and Acceleration Program. But let's get right with this. We're not here for promoting stuff like that, but you might need us down the long run. Pricing is probably one of the biggest struggles entrepreneurs are face in business. Do any of these questions sound familiar? I'm gonna hit you with a couple of questions real quick. What should I charge? Am I charging enough or too much? Who am I to charge this much? And can people afford to pay what I'm charging? So these are just a few questions that many entrepreneurs battle with in the minds as it relates to pricing. In the spirit of humility, many entrepreneurs of faith are not charging prices that reflect the value they provide to their clients and customers. So I can share, when I first started, you know, you think that you're a new startup, right? You just started, you don't want to charge much, you don't have a lot of clients, you got to underbid everybody, but that is probably the wrong attitude that you take, and we're going to go more down the road, but I'm just going to drop this nugget to you. I don't care if a person's been in business for 20 years. Of course, you're going to understand your pricing market, but you're going to price based on your value. See, the prices you set in your business tell a story. In fact, the prices you set for your products and services speak volumes about what you believe about the gifts and talents you've been given to share with the world. You got to remember, God has deposited something in you, right? And the world needs to withdraw it out. There's a solution. Look, watch this. You have solved an identifiable problem. You're going to add value to your customers where cost is not an issue. So you want your prices to reflect abundance, confidence in your abilities and skill set, and tremendous value for those you serve. I'm going to say that again. What your prices? You want your prices to reflect abundance, confidence in your abilities and skill set, and tremendous value for those you serve. A lot of times we're underpricing based on our startup, based on who we are. Okay, we're not. You got to think about it. If I want a $1,000, if I'm going to pay $1,000, I expect to get $1,000 worth of service. People say you get what you pay for. If I pay for the same service for $100, then that's what I'm gonna get. See, a kingdom-driven entrepreneur does not sit around thinking that money is going to fall from the sky or that prosperity will fall in his or her lap. Now, it's possible to gain wealth supernaturally, but our God can, and we understand our God can definitely do it, but he has given us the ability to get wealth. However, it's vitally important to be a good steward of gifts and talents he's already given you. It's your responsibility to the giver of all those gifts, as well as to your family and to those you are meant to serve. Those talents are for you to live out what he's called you to do. See, we have a responsibility, right? God has placed something in us. He has placed a gift in us. The Bible talks about he gave some 10, 5, 1 talent, 1, 2, 5 talents, excuse me. But we have a responsibility to multiply what God placed in us. That is our part. Part of good stewardship over gifts and talents is to price our products and service in a profitable and purposeful way. You can and should charge prices that are supportive of your God-given purpose, the vision of your business, as well support that you need for your household. Let me break that down. We have a responsibility that is based on the talent that God has given us, that's based on the purpose that God has placed in our life, that's based on the vision of our business, that's based on how we're supposed to support our household. We have a responsibility never to create prices for your products and services out of thin air or what simply sounds about right. I'm gonna say a lot of times I'll ask people they'll come and say, well, we're charging $1,800, and I ask them, well, how did you get that price? Well, my coach said $1,800 is the going rate, but how did you get that price? How do you know you're making money if you don't know how you got that price? Not only do you need to charge prices supportive of your purpose, vision for your business, and needs of your household, but you also need to give thought of your costs. All of the costs, both fixed and variable. This is another common mistake that entrepreneurs make. Now, I want y'all to stay with me on this scenario real quick. I'm gonna give y'all 2 scenarios. Your goal is to make $100,000. Okay, now if we want to set up our business properly, right? How am I going to make $100,000? I ask people 6 figures. Did you make 6 figures or did you make 6 figures? You know what I'm saying? So give it a scenario. If you guys are with me, I want you to write this down. I want you to add this up as I'm going along with this, right? For instance, your desired income is $100,000. Now we're talking about setting your business up properly so that you can price, right? So you can price your product or service properly. I'm gonna give you 2 scenarios, okay? All right. 1, you're starting off with $100,000. This is what I need you to add. $15,000 for self-employment taxes. Social Security and Medicaid, that's what that means. Add $15,000 for health benefits. Add $15,000 for retirement benefits. Add $7,500 for disability insurance and life insurance. Add $10,000 for office expenses, equipment, postage, supplies, and the means. add another $2,500 for automotive expenses, add $75 for market expenses, add $25 for educational expenses, and your total should be $175,000. So in order for us, or in order for you to reach your goal of $100,000, you at least need to make $175,000 to $200,000. Now, probably people under the sound of my voice are saying, well, I'm not going to do no self-employment taxes. I'm not going to do no health employment taxes. I'm just going to go make the money. But there's the problem. As a good steward, as a good business person, as a kingdom-driven entrepreneur, right? And this is one of the problems that we have as small businesses or as new entrepreneurs, right? We do not set up our business properly. We don't set up the 4 S's, the structure, strategy, system, and sales. So we need to make $175,000 because we want to structure our business right. So here goes the next thing. How many billable days do I have to make $175,000? Because we want to make sure we scale down to the minimum, to the exact number to make $175,000. Once again, we're talking about building your business properly. So many times, new businesses, young entrepreneurs, old entrepreneurs, entrepreneurs in general, right? We start making the money, and then we have to go back and do what I'm saying now, right? We realized we wasn't making what we were making. I heard this one gentleman said he would get paid, right? He got paid $1,000 for a service. He wouldn't spend the whole $1,000, right? Not realizing that the whole $1,000 wasn't his. So we don't want to keep making those mistakes. So how many billable days do I have to make $175,000? Okay, remember, setting your business up properly. Number of working days in a year. We're talking about 52 weeks at 5 days. And I want y'all to add this up. That's 260 days, right? That we have to work with because we're going 5 days a week for 52 weeks. Number of holidays. Okay, you're going to minus this from the 260. 14 holidays for the year. Number of vacation days, 20 vacation days for the year. Number of sick and personal days, 5 days for sick and personal days. And then you have 2 days per 48 weeks for marketing, sales, and administrative work. That's minus 96 days. When you add that all up, or you subtract that all up from 260, you actually have 125 billable days for the year. Understanding that, that's how you know how you can charge hourly, how you can charge annually, however you want to charge. You have the exact number of billable days, right? That you can bill to get that $175,000. Now I'm gonna give you a story. Just stay with me for a minute. Stephanie's Simply Divine Cookie Company bakes delicious gourmet cookies in a variety of flavors. Her ingredients can be slightly costly, but the unique flavors are what set her apart from other bakers in the area. She was blessed with an opportunity to get her company's cookies into a high-end department store, but before she would be considered, she had to submit a proposal for a small 500 cookie trial order. Getting this contract would be a nice revenue boost to her business long-term, but she has to ensure that her pricing structure is both profitable and purposeful. She submitted a bid to sell an initial small order of $500 of her design jumbo cookies for a wholesale price of $1 per cookie. Y'all need to stay with me. $1 per cookie or $500 for the whole entire order. Is this a profitable bid for Stephanie? Let's do the math. Make certain you charge enough, but let's do the math. Cost to make 500 cookies, ingredients and other materials, energy, packaging, and overhead costs. Remember, when you're doing your if you're doing a service, if you're doing a product, you have to take into account materials, ingredients, energy, that's time, packing, overhead costs. For her, that would be $62.50. So $62.50 minus 500 will give you 12.5 cents per cookie. Let's talk about cost of labor. You have to include cost of labor. Okay, stay with me. Taxes and benefits is $15 per hour. Even though you might not make that, you need to put in your budget how much you'll be paying, what is your salary per hour? Okay? And so let's stay here. Cost of her labor, taxes and benefits included, is $15 per hour, and it takes 10 hours to bake and package all 500 cookies. 150 divided by 500 equals 30 cents per cookie. So you add that to the 12.5%. So a total cost per cookie is 42.5 cents per cookie. This means that 42.5 cents per cookie is her break-even point. That's another thing we do in our class. What is your break-even point? Ask yourself right now, if you're still on listening to me, what is your break-even point on your business? How do you know at what point you start making money? That's why I ask people all the time when they tell me their numbers, I ask, well, how did you get that number? And if you don't know how you got that number, how do you know you're making money? Or how much money are you making? Okay? So, a break-even point for what she charged for her cookies at a wholesale cost. Selling cookies for anything less than 42.5 cents would mean her losing money. We understand that. But if we stop here, we can say that she is profitable. Her bid is to sell $1 per cookie, yielding 57.5 cents profit on each cookie. 57.5 cents profit on cookie. We're understanding there's a profit, right? Each cookie, or a total of $287. That's what she would make off the entire order of 500 cookies. Not bad, right? However, we haven't taken into account her specific profit goals or the greater purpose that she's been called to do with her business profits. That's why when you do your budget, you have to include everything in your budget, right? Because it's saying here that she needed a specific profit goal to do a specific thing. Let's see what she wanted to do. Stephanie has determined that she wants to allocate 15% of her profits from Simply Divine Cookie Company towards developing housing for homeless in her local community. She still needs to see 50% profit margin just to cover her plans for growth and her contribution towards household expenses. With those considerations, Stephanie has underbidded. How many times have you underbidded your price? How many times have you gotten to something, right, and you thought you had a good price, but you didn't take all the variables into account, right? All the expenses into account, right? And you find yourself doing a lot of work for a little bit of money. Let me give you an example, because if you say you wanted to make $100,000 and you made $100,000, but when you back out all the expenses, more than likely you only make about $20,000, $25,000 when you back everything out. And for $25,000, that's less than what you were making on your job, because you did not what? Understand how to put your budget together. Understand how to make a profit. So what should Stephanie's bid be in order to support her bigger plan? Because she underbid it. Let's take this, and I'm gonna get out your way. Profit margin, and let's break this formula down, right? Profit margin is calculated by dividing the cost of profit made on a product by the revenue received from the product sale. In Stephanie's case, here we go. Gross profit equals $500 minus the 42.5 times 5 is $287.50, right? Revenue received from sales is $500. Profit margin from sales is $287.50 cents. All right, so that equals 57.5%, which we talked about earlier. Stephanie is enjoying a 57.5% profit margin with her current bid. However, this is not enough, because it would not allow her to give 15% towards the housing of homeless and still serve her family and invest in her business growth through 50% margin. So think about this. Think about where you're at in your business. Does it seem like you're struggling? You're doing some good sales. You're making some good sales. But for some reason, the money you're making is not the time that you're putting in. And this is the reason why. Because you're not calculating, you're not putting everything in your budget that you need to see. Okay? In order to achieve all this, she needs a 65% profit margin. You got to understand those things. In order to earn a 65% profit margin, she needs to earn 65 cents in profit per cookie. So I'm going to stop there, right? So if you didn't follow this example, this entire example, just go back, redo this, look over it, 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 look over it. Read it again until you understand, because the fundamentals are key for kingdom-driven entrepreneurs. Know the cost of making your product or doing your service, both fixed and variable. Conduct a break-even analysis. And that's one thing in our incubation program. One thing that we do in our incubation acceleration program, we set you up as you are a Fortune 500 company. So the things that we're saying is what we do in our incubation and acceleration program. And we even talk about break-even analysis. You have to consider all the expenses, not only the cost of making the product or the service, but also the cost of funding your greater purpose and your cost of living, so that you can determine the profit you need to yield. So the point I'm making is you have to be able, look, when you talk about structure, strategy, system, and sales, when we talk about structure, strategy, system, and sales, strategies, what we talk about when we say strategies is pricing. How do we price our business? There's 3 different types of pricings, right? And what pricing method do we use for our business? Right? So we have to understand that when you talk about your strategies, you're talking about your business model, you're talking about your LLC and stuff like that. But the only way that you can get proper pricing, you have to know your revenue model, you have to know your business model that gives you the numbers that you can actually price properly. Look, this your guy Ray coming to you live all the way from here. We're here right here. Listen. If you guys want to know more about our Silk Financial Network, go to our, let me put this out here, I didn't put that out there. Go to our YouTube page, go to our website, learn more about our incubation acceleration program. These are the things we teach. We don't want you to have to reinvent the wheel. A lot of times as entrepreneurs, we jump in all this stuff. We're making business plans, we're doing websites, we're doing all those things, but we never actually did the numbers to make the decisions in our business. It's impossible to make sound business decisions without knowing your numbers. Little tidbit of information. If you're a new startup, kingdom-driven entrepreneurs, just starting up, have an idea, don't waste your time on a business plan. Your business plan, if you do after this, nothing but assumptions and what ifs. You have no control over it. Develop an operational plan. The operational plan will give you the data and statistics to place in your business model that will give you the data and statistics to put into your business plan. So look, hopefully you guys got something out of it. This is part 3. Well, of course, we're going to do part 4 tomorrow. We're going to keep doing this thing. Would love for you guys to be a part of our incubation program. Would love for you guys to join up to our fintech company, where we help build your business credit, build business funding, and all that good stuff. We have a great offer with our affiliate program, but that's not what I'm here to do today. So, but we're going to get ready to get out of here. And I just want to let you know that this is my nephew, L.A. Mars. Listen to the words. This your guy Ray coming to you live all the way from here. We're here right here. And like we always say here at Silk Financial, God loves you and I love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Peace out. Holla.
Gucci like them customized pieces that's made from Dapper Dan. Forget a crib, I'm trying to grab some land. I'm independent, so I'd rather have my masters than a cash advance. I need royalties, I'm a king, royalty. I don't need your love, I'd rather just pick loyalty. Won't hesitate to put it all on the line. Ambitious, it ain't hard to define.